The founder doing $10,000 a month is generally grinding 80 hours a week. The founder doing 100K a month, they're working 40. And the one doing $500,000, maybe 20. So what's the real difference here? Look, it's not the product or the niche. Instead, it's the skills that they've mastered at each of these levels. You see, most founders try and scale by just doing more of what got them to 10K, more hours, more hustle, more ads, because the skills that get you to $10,000 per month actually are the things that prevent you from reaching $100,000 a month. And if you don't know what to focus on at each stage, what you'll do is burn out before you ever break through. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the 3 skill levels you need to master as you scale your business. And by the end, you'll be able to know exactly what you should do and what you should be focusing on right now based on where your business is at. Let's jump in. So when you're starting out, your only job is honestly to figure out what works. And the only way to do that is by doing everything yourself. You're running the paid ads, you're writing the product descriptions, you're answering customer emails at midnight. And look, that's exactly what you should be doing, because if you can't do it yourself personally, I certainly wouldn't trust you to hire someone else to do it. At this stage, there really are only 3 things you need to focus on and get really good at. Number 1 is paid ads. You need to know how to run Facebook or Google ads without losing money. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to know enough to get people to your website without going broke. 2 is converting visitors into buyers. So once people land on your site, you need them to turn into customers. Most stores fail at this stage because their website looks sketchy, confusing, and so if you fix that, your conversion rate will jump quite quickly. Number 3 is knowing your numbers. How much does it cost you to get a customer? What are your profit margins, gross margin, net margin, and how much cash is in your bank account at any given moment? I see founders all the time. They think they're profitable because they're making sales, but when you look at the actual numbers, they're spending more on ads than they're bringing in. That's a hobby, and that's a hobby that loses you money, because most people get stuck when they hit $10,000 per month. They think, look at me, this is fantastic, I've made it. So they keep doing exactly what got them there. The same ads, the same media buying, the same approach. And for a little while, look, it works. But when they try and scale, everything breaks. Ad costs spike, they can't keep up with customer support, and they realize there's no way I can do this by myself anymore. And so the founders who break through, they understand this. Getting to 10K is about doing. Getting to 100K is about building systems. If you don't make that shift, you'll be stuck at $10,000 a month forever. Here comes level 2. 10K per month up to 100,000 per month. And by this point, you've proven your model works. Now the question is, how do you 10x this without completely burning out? And the answer is very simple. You stop doing everything and you start building a machine that does it for you. And the 3 skills you really need to master at this level are to follow. 1, hiring and delegating. You need to bring on a media buyer to run your ads for you. You need someone handling customer service, and you need help with fulfillment and logistics. And you need to trust them to do it their way and potentially not exactly your way. Because if you hire people just to micromanage them, you've just created more work for yourself. And you see, most founders struggle with this because they think that no one can do this as good as me, right? And truth is, you're probably right. But someone doing it 80% as good as you is way better than you doing it 100% and you having no time for anything else. Skill number 2 is building systems. You see, every part of your business needs a repeatable process, right? How do you bring in new customers? How do you handle returns? How do you test new products? If the answer is, I just figure it out as I go, look, you're in trouble, because when you scale, the chaos scales with you. And the thing is here, you don't need fancy software or 50-page documents. You just need simple processes that anyone in your team can follow without asking you a million questions or the same question over and over again. Number 3 is making decisions based on data and not feelings. At $10,000, you can get away with, gut instincts a little bit. At 100K, you need to know your metrics cold. The founders who scale to 100K 500K are obsessed with their numbers. They track everything and they make decisions based on what the data tells them, not what they think should work. Because the ads get more expensive, the team starts making mistakes, and they're spending all their time almost putting out fires as opposed to growing the business. And the reason is very simple. They're still trying to do everything themselves. Instead of building a machine, they are the machine. The founders who push through and finally make it to 100,000 plus per month, they understand something critical, that scaling, it's not about working more hours. It's about building a business that can run without you being involved in every single decision. And once you do that, you're ready for the next level. And trust me, this is where things get very interesting. So let's say, for example, you're at 100,000 per month. You've got systems in place. You've got a reasonably good team that your business can afford, and things are running, relatively smoothly. Now the question is, how do I 5x this? And the answer is you need to completely change how you think about your role in the business. At this stage, you're not an operator anymore. You're a strategist. Your job isn't to manage the day-to-day. It is to figure out where the business is going next. And these are the 3 skills you need at this level. 1 is strategic thinking. You need to know what moves the needle in your business and what is just noise. Should you launch a new product line? Should you expand into a new market? And so most founders at this stage, they try and do everything. They launch 5 new products, test 5 new channels, right? They spread themselves so thin that nothing actually works and the margin they have gets compressed. Skill number 2 is leadership. At 100,000, you are managing a few people. At 500,000, you're leading leaders. You need a head of marketing that owns the function. You need a head of operations that can run the fulfillment component of your business without you. And your job is to empower them, set the vision, make sure they are damn great at their jobs, and then get out of their way. And this is very hard for founders because they've built everything from scratch. They're used to being the smartest person in the room. Skill number 3 is capital allocation. At this level, you're making 6, perhaps 7-figure decisions. These decisions can make or break your business, and you need to think through them strategically and not emotionally. The founders who scale to 500K and beyond, they understand that it's not just about making money, it's about deploying that money intelligently to create exponential growth. What I see happen over and over and over again is that founders hit 100, maybe 150,000 per month, and they kind of stay stuck there. Not because they don't have a great product or a decent team, but because they're still way too down in the weeds. Your business can only grow as fast as you can think, and there only are so many hours in a day to make quality decisions. So the founders that break through to 500K plus, they understand that their job isn't to make decisions anymore. It's to build a team that can make better decisions than they can. So there you have it. 3 levels, 3 very different skill sets. If you're at 10K, master the basics. Stop worrying about hiring and just focus on making the fundamentals work. If you're at 100K, build the machine. Stop doing everything yourself and start creating systems that can scale without you. And if you're pushing for 500K plus, it's time to think like a CEO. Stop managing and start leading. Look, if this video helped you, subscribe to the channel for more content, and I'll see you in the next video.